Hi there, Marge here from A Rose Grows in Harlem, and today is the earlier than last year, but late for this year, seed sowing episode. Yay! Today is Tuesday, March 26th, and I'm late. I'm late for this very important date. Um, I took the great advice from Miss Lisa. I'll put her uh, link up at the top. Um, she had a very, very wise advice, which is to go to almanac.com and get your planting calendar for your zip code. Very cool. It gives the planting dates for spring. It tells you the crop, the seeds, when to start seeds indoors, when to plant seedlings or transplants, when to start seeds outdoor, and the last date to plant if you're like me and you wait for the very last minute. Um, these are obviously things to take, you know, given your own microclimates and depending on, whatever setup you may have. But these are great guidelines to start. So that is Gardening with Lisa, and again, I'll throw it in the description as well. But I went through my plants and I showed this briefly, I think, on a short or something like that. I have about 39 plants that I want to get started. Some of them are going to be in duplicate, like the tomatoes and things like that. Some of them I want to have several of. I normally put an entire 72 cell tray of marigolds just because I love to have them everywhere. And last year I grew these gigantic marigolds, like they created almost like a bush. Like that's how big they were. And I'm used to the ones that I get from the big box stores, which are tiny, tiny little marigolds. Maybe they get like that tall. Like if this is the ground, maybe they get that tall. Um, but I definitely want, and I think I got them from the Dollar Tree. Let's see if I have them here. I will go through all of them and I'll show you the packs. Um, I will say that I do have affiliate links for some of the stuff that I've purchased, but everything, all the seeds, all the trays, all the stuff here were purchased by me. I found these cool items either through other gardening channels or through other gardeners that I may know, and I got things like Botanical Interests. I've been buying their seeds for years and they've got so much more than what they have. So I'm sorry, this is going to look like a promotional video, but this is just stuff that I'm very excited about because who doesn't get excited about planting and gardening? Um, so I won't go through all of the items now because you're going to see them. I'm going to warn you now, this is going to be a very long video. I'm probably not going to edit a lot of it. I'm just going to let it run. So feel free to skip through. I will put chapters in for myself because, again, this is documenting the process and I just want something to be able to quickly reference. So, yeah, if that happens, don't feel bad for fast forwarding, playing it twice as fast, stopping in the middle. That doesn't bother me. So, let's get set up here. I have 4 trays here, 72 cells in them, and I will just go one cell at a time. I thought about trying the roses this year. I might use these for the roses, but I think I'm going to save most of these for up potting because whatever seedlings I don't keep, I might just sell. So we'll see what happens. But I'll give you a quick rundown of what I have. My handy dandy clipboard and my notepad. I love to write everything down and I love using pencils. I have that. I have my plant calendar just in case. I have my gloves. I have digging tools. I have these, what are these, oil-based markers. Let me tell you, if you use Sharpie, now this brand is Sharpie, but if you use the regular Sharpie markers, by the end of the season or when things are ready to harvest, if you can't tell right off the bat what it is, the sun will fade the marker. So if you write on a let's see, what do I have? I have these plant markers, which are just wood, right? These are great because they biodegrade. And if you write on them with a Sharpie marker, it will fade. So use the oil-based paints. Unless you want it to biodegrade, then it's okay to use the regular Sharpies. I also, because I'm crafty and creative and I love to make paper things, I ended up making these plant markers. These will definitely fade in the sunlight. I just printed, some things and then I laminated them. This held up really well. You can see that there's dirt all over it. I should probably wash it, but I don't care so much. I had to cut them out individually. They worked great. And I don't know, if I ever start an Etsy shop, maybe I'll just start selling these as some cheapo, flexible planter labelers. But yeah, I wrote on it with Sharpie and that also faded. So if I use the oil-based marker with that, that works. What else do I have? A dear friend, she watches me on YouTube. I don't know if I have her permission to say her name. I'll just say she's a friend that I met at work, and now we're cool friends. She gave me these beautiful tags that I could use, very colorful and awesome. Again, I will use those with my oil-based paints, so they will fit perfectly in my little container. And look at that depth, is just great. She is the best. And I will give a shout out to her in the comments if she is okay with me saying her name. But I have those ready because I am very, very bad at labeling. So once I put a row in, or if I decide to put like 6 in one container, which I might do because that's better than a straight row, I will put one label in here, like these are my tomatoes or these are my whatever, and then that should work. Okay? So I got my plant labels, got my markers. I have my seltzer and my little cup holder for my water while I do this video, which, okay, there's nothing in there, but this is a cute little planter that I use for a cup holder, and that's perfect because you gotta stay hydrated. All right, so I've got my extra seltzer, which I don't know where to put that. I'll put that right here for now. Things are gonna fall over. I'm gonna make some noise, and it's gonna happen. We'll deal with it. I already talked about my digging utensils. These again, I did my unboxing and I showed that I got 2 different size botanical interest recycled paper pots. Sometime down the line, I want to make sure that I get these seedlings out because I'm just so late with it. But I do want to start, I shred my recycled paper and I put it in a container, and then when that is full, I put that into my compost pile. I mean, I separate the plastics out. So, the plastic windows for the envelopes that you get all your junk mail in, I separate that out because that obviously won't biodegrade. But the soy-based inks in your junk mail allow you to just put the paper right into the garden. So I just throw it in my compost heap and the worms love it. I did get these again because I probably want to use this if I sell plants, but I do want to make a video of creating my own recyclable pots. And I feel like that's great for giving stuff away to people. If I, have something bigger, like I'll talk to you about some seeds that I just got out of an apple. But if I wanted something where I didn't want to disturb the roots, or if I wanted to make my own size container, I am going to have a video about how I make some recycled paper planters. I do have regular Sharpie, but I think that's just because I didn't put it away yet. And I'll put that in there. Said I have my gloves. This is a big container of soil that I have pre-treated with nematodes to help stop the fungus gnats. I don't know how well that worked, but it's pretty good soil. You can see that. Oh, and it smells wonderful. It smells like good, fresh dirt. So that has held up nicely. I think I bought that last November. It might have even been the summertime. I bought some soil to keep indoors because most of my soil is outdoors, is in the backyard. And I basically didn't want to have all the bugs in there and then bring it inside. So I kept this specifically for indoors. If you hear me yelp or something, I apologize. I will edit that out. If there is a bug in here or a snake or something, we don't have any dangerous snakes in this area because there aren't any water places in my backyard. But anyway, I'm starting to go off on a tangent. So the first thing I want to do is just going to go down the list to make it easy for myself so that I could say, yes, I've planted this and cross it off. I have no rhyme or reason. I do not put certain plants with other plants except for I might put the flowers together and the veggies together. So if I have, so this is, let's see, I also want to transfer my Jiffy, my little Jiffy so when I did a short before, I had mentioned that all I had at the time were these Jiffy tops, and that's really just to, keep it from having the water spill over. But I basically wanted to make sure that I had that. And now I've purchased other trays. And what I should have done is when I bought these from Botanical Interests, I should have bought the nicer trays, but I think they were out of stock at the time. So I just got these from the big box store because they were on sale. I'm carefully moving everything over. I'm running out of room here. I tried to separate everything, but it's just gonna go back into here anyway. So I have some of these seeds. These are seeds that I've saved. So if I have a packet and I have these seeds saved, I will probably do 3 and 3 and mark them just to see which ones do better. Just in case these are older seeds. And if they don't germinate, once I mark them, I can then throw these out and then replace them with the other seeds. Okay, so this is the top. So I will take one of these trays. I should get my gloves on now. And I always check my gloves. I did this before, but I always check my gloves for spiders because they do like these little hidey holes. Oh, and let me make sure that I'm actually filming. I might cut this out later. Okay, good. That looks like it's filming. Okay. First up, we have our jalapeno peppers. Now I know that I have banana peppers and jalapeno peppers. Those are the first ones. Okay. So we're going to get 6 and 6. So I have Fairy Morse, which if you want some discounts down at the bottom, there should be an affiliate link. I got some Fairy Morse hot peppers, mild jalapenos. And if you say this, just remember jalapeno is a Spanish word. It's got the tilde over the N. So it's jalapeno. These are not organic. I tried, but I think I bought these a long time ago. So these are not organic. I have sweet banana and jalapeno. So what do I want to do first? Let's do the filling. I'm just going to take this, fill it up. Now this is just, if I remember, this potting mix? This is not potting mix. This looks like this might just be compost. I probably should have kept the label. Okay, so we will just fill this up. Always such a mess with filling these up, and finally I decided I was just going to keep it nice and tidy. Put it in here. I'm really okay if you want to skip through this. I always say I'm gonna do what I did last year, and then I don't do it. I normally mix perlite and what's the other one? I just had them in my hands when I went outside. Perlite and vermiculite, but I'm just gonna go with this mix here. While I was at work, I was just dreaming of doing this all day. Okay, so before I even start to do anything, creating those labels, let's create a new good habit. I need to save these seeds before. That should be my next thing. I think they're way down on the list, but I should definitely do that as my next thing. So let's do, are we gonna color code? These are peppers. So let's go with some green. Two labels. Ooh, that comes out really quick. Oops. Okay. I should have gotten some. Okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, they take forever to dry. And this is 2024 3/26. Okay, so I'm gonna put that over here. And then one for banana pepper. Oops. Okay. Banana pepper 2024 3/26. Jalapeno and banana pepper. Oh my goodness, I'm already off to a good start. Okay, so we have the jalapeno. I'm gonna do 3 and 3, and to make it easy, I'll do it one side and the other side. So these are okay. So now, do I do 2 in one or what? I have my little pokey thing here. Let's do 2 per cell. Just in case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I wouldn't mind having, like, I I don't know, maybe four pepper plants, just to see how they're doing. So those are the jalapenos there, and I believe I have some in here, jalapeno peppers. So I'll say to myself, and I'll say it on the video, that the side with the label is the side of the peppers that I got from the store versus the ones that I've had in storage. Last year I ended up trying to grow peppers in August, and they did come up, but not a squirrel, one of those army moths ate them. I thought it might be too hot for them, but they didn't care. Not one bit. Okay, so that's 12 seeds down. If they all germinate, first of all, I'll be very excited because I have a very high germination rate. Like, I don't know if it's, right now it's showing about 80 degrees in here. I have a whatchamacallit mat, a heating mat. It doesn't matter, I don't need it. I don't even need it. And I'm just gonna use my gloved finger and poke this so that those holes close up. And the peppers just took a long time, that's all. It worked, but they just, I mean, outside when I planted them, it just took a long time for them to germinate outside. But we had some weird weather last August. I mean, it got cold really fast. It was really hot. It was like 100-degree weather. And then like a week later, it went down to the 40s. And you're like, what are these plants supposed to do? Okay, this is sweet pepper. These are my banana peppers. Pimiento. So we'll do the same thing. Do 6 holes, and we'll do the same thing here where the side with the label will be the side with the store-bought, and I'm putting holes in diagonally so that they each have their own space, because I know I could save seeds forever if I had whatchamacallit, if I only planted 1 seed per cell, because I like to do that because I don't like to waste anything, and I feel bad if I put too many seeds in and I have to thin them out, and I know you're supposed to thin them out. I always feel bad because I'm just that way. Oops, I didn't get one in there. There we go. Survival of the fittest, but I want to save them all. So that was the store-bought banana peppers, and here are my stored banana peppers. One, two, oops. 3, 4, 5, 6. I got overwhelmed last year because I grew too many seeds. I'm probably doing the same thing again now. And I think if I ever went into the gardening business, I would want to be a nursery owner. I would want to start the seeds and then sell them to people and be like, here's a little baby, enjoy your gardening. I think that's what I would do, because I do love them popping up all the time. I love mature plants too, don't get me wrong, but I just love seeing those things pop up out of the ground. Okay, so look at that. Already I have 2 plants done, and I made a mess over here with this marker, but oh well. Okay, so my jalapeno peppers are done. My banana peppers are done. I know I'm going out of order, but I have these apple seeds that I am afraid I might lose if I don't do this properly. So, now these, oh, let me see if I remember. I think I picked up some Pink Lady apples. Don't even think they're organic. I got them from the supermarket. And yeah, I had an apple and I'm like, oh my god, seeds, let's do it. So that will be my next. There were way more than 6 seeds, but that's what I picked out. Oh, there are worms in here all over the place. I hope they're okay worms. Don't know. Little ecosystems everywhere. Yeah, but I got overwhelmed because I want to grow all the things, and I want to do this whole permaculture thing, so I want to make sure that I'm actually, you know, doing it right and making the most out of everything and making sure all of my plants are supported. But with a full-time job and like all of my extracurricular activities, traveling and doing all this other stuff, it can get to be overwhelming. So even though I have 39 plants here, I don't know that I'll actually grow all 39 of them. So I'm prioritizing the ones I want to do first, which are all of my veggies. Like, I'm just very excited to grow veggies because the first year I moved here, my tomatoes were beautiful. Like, I had so many tomatoes. I think I did 6, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I had 8 tomato plants and they were wonderful. I think these are Pink Lady. I'm just gonna say apples because when you grow apples, they have the DNA of all the other apples, so you don't know what you're gonna get. You might get something that's edible, you might get something that's not. And I'm okay with that because this is an experiment. I bought the tree so that I could eat them. So I have 6 apple seeds. I will put 1 in each hole here and 1 in each. So I guess I should do this the other way so that you can see me dropping these seeds. And what I will end up doing is I will probably do a little spritz of water on the top, but then from the bottom water, because I have this is fairly damp already, so that should be enough to just allow that to go. Is it the right color? This is the right color. Not even paying attention to depth. If it comes up, it comes up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's fine. Got 6 chances. And if this doesn't, like, if nothing comes up after a month, then I'll probably just go get some organic, because that's normally what it means, is that it's not gonna, or it has the Terminator gene. Oh, the worms are in here, wormies. Don't know what kind of worm you are. Don't think you're, it'd be nice if I knew. Let's see if I can pick you up. Put you in the dirt. There. Who knows what's gonna happen now? Okay. So apples, I can cross off the list. That was number 9 on my list, but that's done. Okay, next up, my tomatoes. So now I have, well, I'll show it to you when I do the labels. But let's get them out. The tomatoes I have are also, some of them are saved and some of them are new, because I went to town and bought some brand new tomatoes because I've grown these for a long time and I wanted some new ones. And I'll go through each one once I find them here. Here we go. Okay. So these are organic. Are all of these? Yes, all of these are organic. This is also botanical interests. I have a San Marzano. I hope that this is focusing. Italian Roma. And beef steak. Wonderful slicing tomatoes. And I have brown berry, which is if you go to the supermarket, you can get a like a variety pack. I can't hear here. You can get a variety pack of tomatoes called Wild Wonders, and there are these beautiful tomatoes in there. They're yellow tomatoes, red tomatoes, purple tomatoes, kind of like brown. So brown berry is like that purplish brown, and it's like the sweetest tomato I've ever had, and I love it. And then the snowberry is a yellow tomato, and I just kind of looked up what these tomatoes might be, and I'm hoping that that's what they are. That's what I call them. So it's basically the purple tomato from that pack and the yellow one. There was San Marzano in there as well, but I think I used up all of those seeds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tomatoes. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, okay. So I need 5 of these to fill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, I love fried green tomatoes. I love tomatoes on my sandwiches. I will often get sandwiches with just tomato with no lettuce because I just love the tomato part of it. And when I started growing them, the first ones I grew were cherry tomatoes because that fascinated me as a little kid. I was not part of a family that grew stuff to eat. I think the first thing I ever grew was marjoram because my name is Marjorie, and I went to the botanical gardens, and I think my mom bought me that because it was cute, or I might have asked for it or something like that. And that was the first thing I ever grew that I could actually like consume. And then later on in life for school, I got I don't know if it was an experiment or if I took it home from school, but I either tried to grow a potato and a pea on our patio. We were in an apartment complex, and we had a patio that was not like you really couldn't go out there and enjoy yourself. There was nothing back there but just a little bit of grass and some trees, and it was, you know, it was all right. It was more than many had. I'm not trying to, you know, minimize my privilege or anything like that, but it didn't really have any sunlight to grow anything well. So we got peas, and I was ecstatic. I was like, I don't believe this. I grew a pea. I think I grew 1 pea. I'm the same way now. If I get 1 little pea pod, I'm very excited. But that's why I do this, because I love watching things grow, and I love seeing what you can do, you know, with some dirt and a seed. And you're really not the cause of it, but if I can help make it happen, that makes me happy. Now, one thing that we do have here are brown recluses and what are they called? Black widows. So those we have to be very careful about. And they won't come after you, but if you catch them and they're scared, or if you surprise them, they will defend. So, you know, it's that fine balance. I just wish they ate the friggin' Joro spiders. Because those things are huge if you let them grow. They get really big, and all of their All of their webs just like get into everything. What is that? That looks like a shell? Piece of glass or something, I don't know. Not in here. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. This is the last one for the tomatoes. And see, this is like, it's not hard. You just fill up stuff and you plant stuff. Now, granted, it takes a while to get this stuff, but you can use all types of things. You could use newspaper to make little containers that are enough to, you know, they will last long enough to create an environment for your seedlings to grow. You just need them to grow big enough until you can get them outside. Like that's all you really have to do. Okay, so I'm gonna do labels, and this time I'm gonna label them one at a time so I don't get confused. And I think I will do 2 again for each tomato. Although my tomato germination rate is like almost 100%. Like I don't know if it's just, this is just a good, like, if this is just a good place to have tomatoes, if it's just really good soil. I mean, this could be a total bust this year because, again, you know, I'm supposed to do stuff the same way every year and I always change it up. So maybe this time it will be 0% germination rate. But what I always find amazing is that being from New York, when I grew tomato seeds, it took almost a full 7 days, like a week, for my tomato seeds to germinate, I think. I'd have to look back at my videos from 10 years ago, 11 years ago. But I'm pretty sure it took a long time. Here, it feels like I put the seeds in and I come downstairs and those seedlings are up. Like, they do not play here in Georgia. They're like, yep, we're ready. We're ready. So, I am just making fast and loose holes in there. Okay, first up, label. Now, for the tomatoes, do I also want those to be red, or do I, let's make those pink and fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, great. Let's label them. Okay, first up, my favorite is brown berry. Now, a geeky thing about me, let's see if I can do this tomato. I made a whole database in Microsoft. Did I do it in Access? I think I did it in Microsoft Access. I did a database for my seedlings. I was like, oh my god, I have to get this done. And I spent like a weekend making a database and putting in all the information, taking pictures of everything, and I don't use it. Brown berry. Wow, that is going to be really interesting to read. 20, 24, 3, 26. Well, I should see the word brown, and this is incredibly hard to read. It's such a contrasting color. Oh my god. Okay, so how do we do this so you could still see? I will put it this way. I don't know, I'll put it in after I put the seeds in. How about that? Brown berry. So when I first started making videos and I did the tomato seeds, I did the whole fermentation thing. But this year I just put them in a paper towel and let them dry up. And then I peeled them from the paper towel. And they germinated. It was fine. What I will do, if there is a really small seed, I'll put 2 in because sometimes the seed is really small and I'm not sure. And then you know what happens? I get 3 tomato plants. That's what happens. And sometimes they get stuck together like this. I don't know if you can see that. I will just put that. Crap, where did I leave off? I think I did 1, 2, 3. I will make this one big one here and put that cluster in there. And I'll probably get 3 tomatoes. Don't even follow my own advice. I'll go back and I'll edit this video. I'll be like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, Marge? Okay. So those are the brown berry. Okay. Labeling. Brown berry. Next up, put this in the done pile. Next up is snowberry. These are the yellow ones. Snowberry 2024 3/26. Okay, the yellow ones. And these are really good roasted. If you take some balsamic vinegar and you salt, pepper, balsamic vinegar, you just get like a pan. I think I ended up using a, did I use a glass? I think I used a glass pan, and trying to separate these seeds because they're also kind of together. I ended up using a glass pan, and I just roasted them maybe at, I don't know, 425, and I just kept checking on them. And you know, just you take a bowl, you take the tomatoes, you wash them off first, right? And then you can leave them whole, but they might explode, so it might be actually better to put them in to slice them in half. Do I quarter them? I think I sliced them in half. And then you just take some olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and in the glass bowl you just mix it all up, and it is heavenly. It's sweet because the balsamic vinegar caramelizes. And I didn't realize this. It's balsamic. I always used to say balsamic. It's not, it's balsamic, and I'm probably saying that wrong too. But you take the vinegar, the delicious vinegar, and you throw it on the tomatoes with salt and pepper and olive oil, and it's delicious. Could I tell you a time, like how long to roast them for? No, because it all depends on your oven. It depends on how big the tomatoes are, how many you put in there. But let me tell you, if you have that in your fridge, you can put that on top of anything. I put on top of macaroni and cheese, I put on top of rice, I put on top of pasta. Oh my god, it's so delicious. So those are the snowberries. Next up, beefsteak. I'm writing this down so I know which one I'm doing next. Tomato. I think this is the first time I'm growing this variety. 2024 3/26. Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to remember if I ever had them. I don't know. think I've mostly had cherry tomatoes. There was this this one gentleman, Praxis. I'll probably put a link up to his, oh, this is interesting. I'm interrupting myself. Because this is how it came. So they wouldn't fall out. I've never seen that before. Wow! There is also a whole... Okay, this is actually cool. I've not seen this before. I have definitely opened packages where they have used the inside of their packing to give you additional information. And it looks like Botanical Interests has done the same thing. Let's see if there's a way to unhinge this easily. I've not seen that before. It does say we are dedicated to inspiring and educating the gardener in you. That's why we put even more helpful information inside. So I am carefully trying to take this apart. It's not hard, I'm just very heavy-handed. I don't want to ruin anything. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Wow. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there is a whole bunch of information in the seed packet. That's way better than just an empty nothing. Oh, see, I did rip some of it off. Whoops. That's okay. It tells you the family, it tells you the hardiness, the dimensions, the variety, general information, exposure, like all this stuff. Harvesting it, how to like plant it. Oh my god, it even tells you how to plant it sideways. If you've never grown tomatoes before, it loves to create roots all along its stem. So the deeper you can plant it, the better. And if you don't have something deep, you could like grow it sideways. So if you slightly, you know, bend the roots to the side and then allow it to grow up that way, it'll still take the advantage of, you know, shooting out more roots. That's pretty awesome. Botanical Interests. And then I can just take this, and how many seeds did they give me? They give me a few. Let's see. I bet there's some more in there. There's one more in there. I'm just doing this to show you how many seeds they give you. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You're getting more than like 15 seeds. That's way more than you would get anywhere else. So I'm gonna do the same thing. And they're kind of, I don't want to say fuzzy, but they're jagged, which normally happens when you have the fermentation process happens, or when you go through the fermentation process. So they've definitely treated these seeds the way that they would be in nature, because tomatoes will naturally ferment to get rid of that gel that's along the outside so that their seeds are able to grow, because tomatoes have a natural inhibitor to stop the seeds from growing. Oh, oops, I didn't put you in the hole. And that's to make sure that the tomatoes don't grow right out of their skin. But if they ferment, come on little seed, then that's it. That's all you need. And I still have lots of seeds left, so I think that's fantastic. I will probably put this in, not the database, but I'll put this in my in one of those little seed packets and keep that with this little label, which I think is great. if this grows really well, I might do a second sowing. Like if I can tell by how they germinate what will happen, and if that turns out well, then I'll do a second sowing and have more tomatoes. So the same thing is probably going to be for the San Marzano. Yeah, they all say that on the side, but I won't open this up completely. Same thing. Oh, before I forget, beef steak. I'm doing things out of order. Oops. Gotta pat these down. Did I do this wrong? Did I not get to those? I'm talking so much I don't even know what I'm doing here. Let me do this. Oh, nope, not yet, not yet. I didn't fill those up yet. Did I do anything with this yet? No, I think this is fresh. There's like a brick or something there. Maybe a rock. Okay, so let's do the label first. Tomato. San Marzano. Oops, A and O. I'll be able to tell what that is. Can't write to save my life with a big ass marker. Okay, so let's put those over here. This one, it helps to have nails. Oh, I think 2 seeds went in there. Harvesting is fun, but you kind of need a plan of what you're gonna do with these things, you know? Because if you don't have a plan, then you're just kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do with all this? So I got a dehydrator. I'll probably end up doing a video on that once I learn about that. I eventually want to get into canning, but I need more space for that. And I don't have that yet. Where did I put my other tomatoes? Over there, I guess. Okay, so those are the San Marzanos. Now, I normally keep 2 tomato plants each so that I have something. But if I'm gonna make like tomato sauce or salsa or anything like that, I might have 3 of each. It depends on the spacing. Sometimes I just like I have the grow bags, and I might do the grow bags, or I might do the gallon containers, the 5-gallon containers. The Italian one was next, and I was gonna do 6 of those because those fit in my planters outside my. What are they made of? It's not birch. Cedar? I think somebody was making cedar planters. Let's see, Italian. Roma. Why I decided to go lowercase this time, I don't know. Oh, I didn't put the date on there. 2026. Oh my gosh. 24. 3/26. Okay, before I forget, I'm gonna put the date in there because I did not do that. Marzano. Okay, now the last one, the Italian Roma. Kind of like a little flap. So yeah, this is just a chat and sew. Definitely have the chapter markers if you care. Mostly so I can just go around, and I mean it's the same thing over and over and over again. Yep, they're all pretty consistent. They all give me about the same amount of seeds. It's pretty awesome. That's a lot of seeds. If I don't get anything but tomatoes this year, I mean, I'm fine with that. That's all I grew before. I started branching out into other vegetables and stuff because I just want to learn, you know? And if I fail now, I would much rather fail now when I'm not relying on it. Because eventually, you know, I wanna do this, so when stuff hits the fan, I know how to do it. You know, now's the time to make my mistakes. Now's the time to realize, do I really want to do this, or do I want to just partner up with somebody who's really good at doing this, and I can trade them for like making clothes or you know, like sewing stuff, because that's also an option. You know, not everybody has to be a gardener. But I love this. I mean, I love, and not just vegetables. Like I love doing flower stuff too. I mean, I put a Rose Grows in Harlem because the whole thing that got me started was wanting to have roses in my apartment, and I didn't know anything about growing anything, you know. So I was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put a rose vine in my hallway. That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's enough sun that comes in through the window. No. All I was able to create was a cute little rose bush, or to keep up, was a cute little rose bush that I saved from the supermarket. And my cats killed it. I was very sad because I love that little rose bush. It was a sad little thing that was on a counter somewhere that was outside of the gardening section, so it wasn't gonna get watered. Somebody had sprayed it with glue and put glitter all over it, and I almost cried. I was like, you need to come home with me. So that was my first saved orphan plant, was at a supermarket. Okay, so look at that already. Snowberry, brownberry, beefsteak, Italian Roma, San Marzano. Perfect. Next up I have herbs. I have some lavender and some flowers. But I think I want to continue with the vegetables. So let's see, I have 2 cucumbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 spots left. So let's do cucumbers. Loofah. Oh, let's do the cucumbers, the watermelon, and the okra. Because those are all inside, yes. So let's do... I have sugar baby watermelon. I know I can do the big ones, but I don't have any room for the big ones. So do the watermelon. Oh, the okra. Very excited. I follow this lady, and I have to find her YouTube. I'll find it so I can post it. But I got stuff from the Okra Lady. She's awesome. I got midnight snack tomato seeds, and she ended up giving me more marigolds, which of course I'm going to friggin' plant those because I love marigolds. But I have her okra seeds, which she packed so nicely. So I'm gonna grow watermelon, midnight snack cherry tomato. Oh yeah, because that's my That's my 6th tomato. I knew I had 6. I was like, I'm missing something. What else do I have? So I might have misspoke. I do have okra, but I got the tomatoes from the Okra Lady. I have the Seeds of Change Clemson Spineless Okra. I don't like the slime, but I found another person who showed how to cook with them and eggs, and the eggs apparently like absorb, like emulsify the gel inside, and I was like, oh, that sounds good. And fried okra is definitely delicious. Like, I love the vegetable. And what else did I have? Now I'm doing too many. I said cucumbers, watermelon, and okra. Okay, so I'm gonna do 6 because I also included my last tomato. So let me get my cucumbers. Those are peas, sage. Here, cucumber. National pickling. Okay, here we go. So I've got Fairy Morse, cucumber, national pickling, and pickle bush, and the rest I showed you. Excellent. I'm gonna pause here and make sure I have enough room on my camera.